Hi again from Central Virginia. At long last, I'm able to get back out in the garden because I've got a little help from family here. My husband's helping me with gathering leaves and grinding them up, so I'm able to get back out. He picked up these big heavy things. So I am trying to get a few more of these garden beds done. We're making some decent progress, and I'll just take you along and show you what I'm doing. You can see in this garden bed in the foreground that there are several things that have been put down on this bed. And I deliberately left this one sort of half done so you could take a look and see how I've been doing it. I have put down a layer of about 2 inches of, this is actually my homemade compost. And I've also then put some alfalfa pellets sprinkled across the ground, a little bit on top of the compost and a little bit underneath. Then I wetted that down. The next thing I'm going to do is put a layer of crushed leaves on this. It's going to be about a 3 to 4 inch layer of leaves. And that will be it for this garden bed. I'll be pulling this hay that was on there in the summer back onto the garden bed. In fact, I can start doing that right now. And then I'll just put the hay down on top of that. I really don't want to waste any of my organic materials. And I just want to cover up these beds for the winter time. This is also a really good time to pull out any little bits of grass or any other weeds that may have grown in. And there are some that have taken off. I'll just give you a quick look about the garden. I'm going to be doing as many of these beds as I possibly can. You see that I have brought in some bags of compost because I just don't have enough of my homemade compost. The green that you see, those are the green glazed collards, and they have come back and they're just gorgeous. You can see how big, beautiful, and shiny those leaves are. Just one or two make enough for two people for dinner, so that's a really nice thing. Over here, what you see growing in the green, I'm leaving this in. I can leave this in pretty much all winter. These are parsnips that are growing, and we've dug a few of them already for Thanksgiving, but there are more down in here. And I'll probably be getting those up for Christmas dinner, I think is what I'm going to be doing there. You can see I've got a lot of cleaning up to do, but I have cleared off this main trellis. And so I've got that going. You can see the alfalfa pellets are down, and I'm getting ready now to put down the compost. I also, the very first layer I actually did was some organic 343 fertilizer. So I will be kind of gradually just working my way down the side aisle here. I want to clean out this bean bed here, get all this area cleaned up. It'll take me a while, but it's good to have some help. Really, the only things that are growing left in the garden right now are the parsnips. And I love parsnips. I have said many times they're underrated vegetables. And I've got Brussels sprouts under the tent that are growing, and a few leeks in the bags, and some carrots in that grow bag by the fence. Otherwise, there's a little bit of kale growing underneath this tent. I'm probably going to be taking this tent up and letting the birds come in and get any bugs that are in here, because that really does need to happen. You can see the kinds of things that I'm pulling out. Here's a wild blackberry that planted itself. Get a pair of gloves and pull that out. The birds eat the berries, and then they get up on this trellis, and then you end up with the wild blackberries in a variety of places. With these marigold seed pods, I'm just taking the plant, I'm cutting it off at the base, and I'm throwing them along the fence line in hopes that maybe some of those will actually germinate next year, instead of putting them into the compost pile where I might be creating a problem for myself. So let's get on with the show here. The next layer is going to be this compost. We've watered everything in. We've got the fertilizer in, the alfalfa pellets in, and now I'm going to put this fertilizer down. This compost down. This is a locally made compost. It is made out of Virginia, Central Virginia, and it is a very nice compost that is poultry litter and leaves. So that is a wonderful blend. I have been using Panorama Pay Dirt compost for, I guess, 3 years now, since I really started this garden in earnest. And it has been, I think, a superior product. So I don't mind spending the money. And it's actually fairly reasonable in price. The fact that it's made locally, I think, is a huge bonus. It's organic. It's certified organic. So I can be sure about what is in here. And, I think if I put any one of these ingredients on here and a leaf cover or a hay cover, it would be just fine. But I'm really trying to keep these beds super, super productive in all the seasons that I'm gardening. About an inch to an inch and a half of compost, and then that luscious alfalfa organic or alfalfa plants, and then of course the crushed leaves. If I don't have enough crushed leaves or I can't get enough crushed, then I'll just put some hay down, and I probably will come back in the spring and put some hay anyway when I'm planting. That'll be my springtime top mulch. In the meantime, I'm just going to put all of this back on here. This is where I have my trombocino squash growing in the summertime. And let's go ahead and get this side. I was digging, pulling the vines and things that have been growing here. I found 2 big potatoes that had crept over here. They were planted last spring over there. And they were actually in here. I was like, well, that looks like a potato. That is a potato. Guess what we're having for dinner tonight? Fresh dug potato. Who knew? I love garden surprises. I think that's one of the best things about gardening is you get garden surprises. We'll start on this bed here. Okay. Beautiful. These are gorgeous maple leaves. I like maple leaves. They grind up really well.
Yeah, they generally do.
Were they too wet from the rain?
No, they mostly were dry.
Excellent.
A little bit.
Thank you so much for watching. As we move into the winter months, there's not quite as much to do in the garden, although I'm so far behind in mine. I've got plenty to do. And I'll be continuing to post more videos when I'm in the garden, whatever I'm doing in the garden. But I'll continue to be posting a lot about cooking, and I'll be posting about some of the gardening books and soil science books that I've been reading, and kind of let you know what I'm learning and what I find worthwhile in terms of literature. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're well.